All right, everyone. So today we're going to do a little intro into exfoliants and how to boost exfoliants if you're ever looking at boosting exfoliants with Dermalogica. So starting off on the right side here, you'll see milk exfoliant, and then going this direction, you have microfoliant, the purifying mask exfoliant, multi-scaling gel, liquid gold or vitamin power exfoliant, and also accelerator 35. Behind here, you see that I have ultra calming cleanser, pre-cleanse, and special cleanser. So we'll talk about how to mix these up individually, but also how to then boost them and how to remove them. So to get started, we're going to start off with just milk exfoliant. So milk exfoliant is great for someone who may be a little bit more sensitive or have more of a compromised skin barrier. It is oat-based, so you would just want to make sure that your client is okay with using anything oat-based. Starting off, you just want to put the powder in the bowl, and then you want to add about equal parts water. It's not always going to be perfect, so you're just going to have to play with it sometimes and just start whipping it. Eventually, it should start to bubble up. It might be a little too liquidy, it might be just right, it might be powdery. We don't want the powder effect. We want more of a foamy effect. I always say treat it like you're going to Dairy Queen and you ordered a Blizzard. You want to be able to turn it upside down and it not fall out. So if it is falling out, you might need to add more powder. So mine is just a little bit too liquidy. I'm going to add a little bit more powder. This would just be doing a basic exfoliation for our client, okay? If we wanted to boost this exfoliator, we could, but today she's just gonna get the milk exfoliant, okay? If you look here, it's foamy. I can turn it upside down and nothing comes out, okay? So that's what milk exfoliant would look like if you were to mix it up in the treatment room. If we move on to microfoliant, we're gonna do the same thing, but this time we're going to boost it with multi-scaling gel. Same thing, we're gonna add about equal parts water, mix it until it's foamy. Again, if it's too liquidy, then you might have to add some water. Anytime you're going to boost an exfoliant with another liquid, you do mix the exfoliant as is to begin and then add in your booster, okay? DQ, we're good. So if I wanted to introduce exfoliating to a client, maybe they're doing a Pro Skin 30, we don't have time to do extra exfoliating or anything like that. This would be a great alternative to start introducing their skin into a deeper exfoliation. So if I do one pump into the microfoliant, and then I mix it around, it will change the color and it also changes the consistency a little bit, but that's okay. We would just apply as is. And it would look like such, okay? Moving on to, if we wanted to boost our second cleanse, say the client has a compromised skin barrier and they're nervous about exfoliating, or they already exfoliate a whole bunch, then we could start introducing the product in through the second cleanse. So if I do a pump or two of my cleanser, and then say I want to either do multi-scaling gel or microfoliant or milk exfoliant, I would just add it in to my second cleanse. So let's do microfoliant. As you guys see, when you pour out microfoliant, it does tend to kind of spray everywhere. On this one, we are creating a paste. Okay, so this one is a little bit more granular. We would apply this to our gloved hands, and then we would massage all over the face. That way it's even application, and follow up with water to emulsify it at that point. So once you then add water to it, it does start to loosen up if this was on the skin, and you would start to see suds. Okay, You could do the same thing with the Ultra Calming Cleanser, but with multi-scaling gel. You could do this with Intensive Moisture if you needed to. Okay. We'll just use the same fan brush. That way you can see. Again, changes color and keeps the consistency about the same, because that is a more so like a gel, where this is a powder. Okay. Going into our Purifying Mask Exfoliant. This one is going to be a clay, like exfoliant. Oh, it hasn't even been opened yet. Would you looky there. This one we would just apply as is if we were going to do clay. Okay, you could take a fan brush and you could apply it just like that. Or you could also boost this exfoliant mask if the skin was able to handle it. If you wanted to boost it, Dermalogica does have a boosting recommendation of it being boosted with Accelerated 35 for some pretty intense results. So if we were to go ahead and put Accelerated 35 in here, we could do a 1 pump. I wouldn't go over the 1 pump, but if you wanted to do 2, theoretically you could. So if I add it in there and I mix it all together, you're gonna see that it keeps its same consistency, same color, but we just added a more intense product into that exfoliant for better results for that particular client. If we wanted to just apply multi-scaling gel to the face, we could. The multi-scaling gel does help bring any extractions up to the surface, or pimples that need to be extracted up to the surface. So this could be beneficial for anybody that is experiencing some small breakouts and maybe wants to see it come out sooner rather than later. So if we just applied this as such, it would just be a pump of the multi-scaling gel. We would let this sit on the face for about 2 minutes before messing with it. Once we're ready to start messing with it, then we would add water because it would dry down and we'd want to loosen up that product so we're able to do what we need to do. Getting into the stronger of the exfoliants, usually we'll start to talk about a bioactivity score. And so this wheel that I have here basically goes into the layers, the levels of the skin, and it talks about the products that you could use for that particular skin type and how to use it, okay? So if we're looking at our stronger exfoliating products, we would have Multivitamin Power Exfoliant, and we would have the Accelerator 35. The Liquid Gold or Multivitamin Power Exfoliant comes in a tube like such. So you could do this as a half tube or a full tube. It is really convenient where when you take this part off, you can close this and use it on another treatment if needed, okay? When you look at Accelerated 35, it is just in a pump bottle. So you could do a half pump, full pump, 1.5 pump, or 2 pump, depending on the type of skin that you're dealing with. When it comes down to removing these particular products, you do have to double cleanse them off. So we double cleanse with pre-cleanse and special cleansing gel, okay? So whenever we decide whether or not we're going to boost with Liquid Gold or Accelerated 35, we would say, do I want to add this product into microfoliant? Do I want to add it into milkifoliant? Do I want to add it with multi-scaling gel? Do I want to add it into my second cleanse? Do I want to add it by itself? You would have to choose as a skin therapist on which one would be best for your client. And that would go for both the Liquid Gold and the Accelerated 35. But regardless, whatever method you choose to do, you would have to double cleanse it off, okay? So when we look at our wheel here, if we were to only use Accelerated 35, it says that this would be best for level 4, thick, coarse, sun-damaged, or prematurely aging skin. And we would dispense 1 pump and apply it to the face and neck. And you could massage over the face for 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the skin condition, always avoiding the eye area. And then you're going to remove with pre-cleanse, followed by special cleansing gel. So the method that I follow for that is that once my product is on the face and I decide what time range I want to leave the product on the face, depending on their skin condition. So for Liquid Gold, I could do 3 to 5. for sensitive skin or 4 to 7 for coarser skin. We do recommend that you don't add steam to this product because if they're not used to it, it can add a little bit more irritation. If they did have coarser skin and were maybe used to it and you needed to just amplify, it does say that for coarser skin, you could use steam. But for us here at the school, we just follow no steam on both Liquid Gold and Accelerated 35. Okay, so whenever I place these products on the face and I decide it's time to move it, I go in with pre-cleanse. I move it around, I massage it around, make sure I'm getting all the areas that I applied that product. And then I follow with special cleansing gel, emulsify the special cleansing gel, and then fully remove all the Accelerated 35 or Liquid Gold pre-cleanse and special cleansing gel all together. Okay, so in this can, if you were to buy this product, it would come like such. And it has this pamphlet. And this pamphlet is really nice as far as it gives you directions. It tells you key ingredients. It gives you all the information you need to know about this exfoliant. Okay, so that's important to keep and read when needed. So if I decided I wanted to do half a tube of Liquid Gold, that's about half, and I wanted to mix it with microfoliant. If I try to mix it from here, you will see that it will stay pasty and granule. So for the most part, we would want to add water before we ever added the Liquid Gold, but I'll show you what it will look like if you didn't. If you look really closely, you'll still see a lot of the grains. If we add too much more water to this, they might go away a little bit, but they will never go fully away just because of how it mixes and how it's meant to mix. Okay, so I'll show you very similar to Liquid Gold, but with the Accelerated 35, if I wanted to mix it with microfoliant, and I add water first and mix it and get it to that foamy consistency. In the treatment room, this is why it'd be really beneficial for you to have your exfoliant next to you at all times. That way you could go ahead and mix as needed. But if we dispense it into a cuppy for you, you would just have to do your best as far as getting it at equal parts water to exfoliant. Okay, once it reaches that foamy state, say I want to do 1 pump of Accelerated 35. That's all that was. Okay. Takes away a little bit of the foam, makes it a little bit more creamy. If I do a second pump, now we're really creamy, looks nice. Okay, same thing with the Liquid Gold. If I wanted to go ahead and do a full pump in here, or a full tube in Liquid Gold's case, I did add a bunch of water, so it's not going to really cream it up, but it is going to change the color. It is going to change the consistency a little bit. But this is how it would look if you did not pre-mix and then add in your booster, okay? So if we were to pre-mix, let's say with milk-efoliant, maybe they're allergic to something in microfoliant, so we have to use milk-efoliant. And then I mix with water. And I get it to that foamy consistency. As you see, as I keep on going, it gets foamier I turn it over, we're good. And I wanna add in my liquid gold. It looks like such. Let's just go for the full tube. And look at how creamy it is compared to liquidy. Okay. So when you're deciding what product is going to be the best product to use on a client when it comes to boosting, again, we're going to look at the wheel. And on this wheel, it's going to tell you exactly how to use the product and how to remove it, but it's also going to tell you the bioactivity score. Okay, so things like microfoliant or a bioactivity score of 5. The purifying mask is going to be a bioactivity score of 18. And then the multivitamin liquid gold is going to be a bio score of 25. And accelerated 35 is a bio score of 35. Okay, so when we start talking about bio score, we're basically getting into the nitty gritty of the scientific side of chemicals that we're putting on the face. And it's going to be the effectiveness and the production of how it works with our skin on a cellular level. Okay, so when you're deciding what's best for what client, you really need to look at their skin condition, look at what they do on a daily, look at what you're doing in the treatment room or what you've done previously, what they've done previously, and decide what's going to be the best decision for them. Okay. For anybody with a compromised skin barrier, we would not want to go into boosting with these particular products to begin with, or even the purifying mask. Multi-scaling would be something that we could introduce with at that point. As we start to see that client and they start to do an at-home regimen, then we could add in doing liquid gold or accelerated 35 into our second cleanse or into our exfoliant module. That way we can start introducing the product to them without overstimulating the skin at that time and causing any further damage. As their skin barrier starts to get better and they follow a regimen and we have a treatment in place for them, then we could start to do these by themselves. And at that point, they should have mild reactions. Anytime somebody has these boosted products on their face, it is very normal for them to feel some tingling or sensation, but we want to always check in with the client and see what kind of sensation they're having. Is it burning? Is it itching? Do they feel like they can't breathe? Is it getting super hot? All those things would be indications that we need to go ahead and take off this product. If it's a tingle and it gets better over time as we check on them, or it stays consistently, then we'll just treat it as sensitive skin and take it off a little bit earlier. But if they have no sensation, we could go a little bit longer, but you wanna make sure that you use best judgment and you don't overdo it, okay? So as far as having any questions, if you're here in the school, you can always ask to find the wheel just to take photos of it. That way you can get better understanding of bioactivity score with the boosted exfoliants. In your kit, you do get microfoliant and you do get the multi-scaling gel and you do get accelerated 35. So if you're going to try to boost any of these things on yourself or at home, when you're practicing with the products, just make sure that you refer back to this video to make sure you're doing it correctly, or go to Dermalogica, the book, and make sure that you're not overdoing it with your skin type. All right, I hope you guys learned something today, and if you have any questions, just come find me and we can talk about it. Bye.